How long before Bitcoin hits $90,000 again? Let's look at the charts to see what they say. We'll also look at ETF performance and liquidity heat map for more clues. And could Dog and Me be at a local top? We're actually going to take a look at the chart of another altcoin, Clanker, to see what could possibly happen with the Dog and Me chart. And finally, we will answer the questions: could altcoins explode in Q2 of this year? Let's dive right in. All right, so let's first try to get a possible direction for that. On the very short term, we'll take a look at the liquidity heat map for the 24 hours for Bitcoin. Okay, down here is 35 million at around 82,900, but above, closer, is 18 million, 27 million at around 84,300, 84,300 plus. Excuse me. And at 84,600, there's 42 million in liquidation leverage to be had. So right now, looking at that, I would think that maybe the closest thing is up here to 84,400, 84,600. So that direction is probably up a little bit, but obviously still just range bound. Okay, Bitcoin ETFs, what did they say? 4 days in a row up of green. Right, on the 20th, which is yesterday, positive inflows of 165 million. Like I mentioned yesterday, or the day before, the 19th, there was just inflows of 11 million. But we have 4 days in a row of green, and that should be celebrated because we haven't seen that since 28th of January to the what, 131. From the 28th of January to the 31st of January. Those 4 days were the last time we saw 4 days in a row of green, except for now. So that's good. Maybe just maybe we are starting to see a little bit more interest, and the institutions or richer retail is buying buying back into these ETFs, seeing that the price is actually pretty good. So that's all positive things. Let's take a look really quickly what open interest is, where we at. Are we about 50 million, 52 million? That's good, right? So all that information I would digest and say, we would still be range bound. I don't think we go below 78,600. Okay, that would be essentially the range. That would be the just bodies, not talking wicks, just bodies. We could do it this way too. Try to get kind of a better idea of range. 84,300. We'll just do the top. 87,000, and the bottom 78,600. Okay, we could be range bound between that 87,000 and 78,600 today, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe even into Monday. But I think next week, Monday, we will try to touch this line. We didn't this week. I thought the last couple of days maybe we could have possibly, but we never really we only got as high as 87,400. All right, which would be enough for Monday, which would be enough actually for Tuesday. If we touch those levels, we would be hitting that line. Obviously, the idea is to try to get over this line, right? We want to be over this, make bodies over this, so we can continue the upwards movement and kind of get away from this area of resistance, get higher above it, closer to 100,000 Bitcoin, which I think most of us want to see 100,000 Bitcoin again. And I think we will in the not too distant future. Like we just saw, there seems to be a little bit more interest now in the ETFs. Open interest is also up a little bit, and for the short term at least, and the heat map, really, there's a little bit more action on 84,000 and up, which we're at 83,862. So I mean, I think maybe we just kind of climb up, grab that, maybe we come back down, but again, really we just kind of stay in this range. I don't think we leave it unless there's like a black swan event that comes in. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? We touched all that. Let's get into Doge really quick. I mean, Dog and Me really quickly. Right, so this is Dog and Me, and it looks like it's starting to turn over. Okay, one guy got this started. He made a $50,000 sell. Good for him. I ain't hating on him, but let's see if this is just something like this, just like a week or so of just going sideways before the next move, which I think it could be. I'm not completely sure that this is the beginning of a drop down in 786. Okay, because most of these pumps, that's how they end, the 618 or the 786 or lower. Okay, I don't think that's the beginning of this, although it could be. I have been wrong before, but the reason why I don't think so is we're going to take a look at Clanker. Clanker is another base meme coin. I don't know if you've heard about it. I've talked about it here. I think of it like Pump dot fun that was on Solana. They basically do the same thing, but on base. Okay, and they got listed on Coinbase. They got listed on the they're to be listed, right? They got put on the Coinbase map, right? Listing map, but they haven't been listed, and they've been waiting for over a month. And so when news got out that they listed, this would happen. Obviously, huge wick, it came back down, and then since then, right, just waiting to get listed. What has it done? It's just been in a relatively tight range. The body's definitely some wicks below, some bodies above, but for the most part, just staying right here at this range, right around where it's at, $61 for a while. How long has this been doing this for? We'll say since this day, 30 days, a month doing this. Okay, so if there's no listing, coming quickly, like it didn't come for Clanker, then maybe we could expect something like this for Dog and Me, and that's why I don't think we're going to drop down this low. Okay, simply because that listing is pending, right? So I think maybe we kind of go sideways for a little bit until that listing comes, and then I think, you know, it will pump more. But we'll see how low it goes. Do we drop down to 3097? Do we drop down to 3077? I don't think we drop down too much lower than that, and that's if we get down there, because again, Clanker just basically stayed more or less right there and just went sideways, right? So I could picture something like that right around here where it's at, just going sideways. But hey, that's actually a good area to start accumulating, right? If you're not positioned in Dog and Me. Okay, I'm not going to sell at these levels. To me, it's too risky for me personally to sell right here when, you know, in a moment's notice, Coinbase could say, yeah, we're going to list it tomorrow at X o'clock, right? And then boom, right? And then I missed that, right? So I don't want to do that. I'm just going to risk it and just wait, do nothing. Okay, sometimes the best thing to do is do nothing. So that's what I would be doing. But if you are not positioned and you want to position yourself well, I think right now might be the time just to nibble, wait a day, see what happens, right? Nibble, wait a day, see what happens, right? And see where it starts making the consolidation, assuming that we won't see a Coinbase listing for another week or two, a couple of weeks, I don't know, right? So let's if we assume that, then we have time to position ourselves before the next move up, and eventually there will be. Okay, I'm extremely bullish on Dog and Me. I'm extremely bullish on the base memes that I mentioned to you guys, because I'm looking at charts of other altcoins that I liked, that I've watched, and well, compared to the base meme charts, man, they all look like crap. All right, so now let's finish it up with some somewhat decent news. SEC could approve altcoin ETFs by Q2, and this is the reason why I think maybe altcoins could see a pump in Q2. After greenlighting Bitcoin's ETFs in January, the SEC may now approve altcoin ETFs, Ethereum, Solana, XRP between April and June 2025. Bloomberg analyst James Seyffert notes delays, but sees a strong chance of approval this year, supported by recent filings from major asset managers. Crypto insiders like at Mini Laboratory echo this optimism, forecasting multiple altcoin ETFs soon. If approvals happen, it could spark a massive altcoin rally, signaling broader institutional acceptance and driving mainstream adoption, though some caution remains due to the SEC's historically conservative approach. So if we do start seeing some ETFs, some altcoin ETFs approvals, guys, that will be helpful for the altcoins. And I think if that happens, when it happens, eventually it will, altcoins will see that pump. Hopefully it happens in Q2. Eventually, I think no matter what, altcoins are going to see a pump, especially the memes. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to bring to your attention today, guys. Let's see what happens with Bitcoin, but I think it's going to be pretty boring. It's going to go pretty much just sideways for a little bit in this tight little range that I outlined. And next week, my guess is that we will try to hit this line. If not, then we drop down some more. All right, but eventually we will start moving up, guys. All right, so do with that information what you will. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Okay, I know it's Friday, so TGIF to all those that celebrate. And if you can, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. I'm trying to grow this channel, and all that stuff really does help. With all that said, I will see you guys Monday. Have a good weekend. Peace.